Hi guys, I am going to show you how we're going to be working on our next project, which is the layer styles project. And the cool thing about layer styles is that they give you a lot of flexibility in creating certain effects when you want to start putting images together in Photoshop, which is what we're going to be doing for our next project when you guys create your movie poster. Okay, so let's move right into it. Let's go into our folder for today. We're going to click on this. We're going to open our folder, and then we see we have a couple of different JPEGs, okay? Okay, so let's click on Layer Styles number 1. I'm going to click on that. And now that we've got it open, we're going to click on it and drag it straight into Photoshop. Give it a minute to open up. Now we see we have an image which is opened up with all these different boxes, and they all have different names of layer styles that you can apply to things that you do. So what I'm going to have you do is to write your name in each one of these boxes, but you're just going to start one at a time. So let's go down to our text tool right here, which is the T. I'm going to write my name, Hilary Steinow. Okay. I'm going to go up to my Move tool, which is also known as the home base. And I'm going to grab it, make sure it's centered nicely. I'm going to go back to my text tool. I'm going to highlight it. And I'm going to choose a font that I want to use. So I'm going up here to the font area. And let's do, how about Escafina? I like that font. There we go. We're going to bring it in. And what does it say there? It says drop shadow. That's the layer style we're going to be working on. So in order to go up to that and change that and add a drop shadow effect, we're going to go up to Layer, Layer Style, and then go all the way down to drop shadow. Now we've got a window open, and you can see that it's already applying the effect. When you open up your layer style palette, make sure that you have preview turned on, because preview will show what you're actually doing. If you don't have preview turned on, then you can make lots of changes, but you won't see it. So I've got it turned on here. What about if I want my drop shadow to be maybe like a nice kind of natural looking gray? I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to bring the opacity down, make it a little less opaque, maybe make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to change the distance so it's not so, if I change the distance really big, it goes far away, and then it even goes off that image. But we're going to bring the distance in. We're going to make maybe the opacity a bit more. It's a little darker. I'm quite happy with that, actually. Make the size a little less. If you make the size really small, then you basically just have a hard drop shadow. But here we're making the size a bit more. Now I'm going to hit OK. So there's our drop shadow. Now let's move down to outer glow here. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say Hilary. And let's change our font. I'd like you guys to use a different font for each one of these effects, because that's also just going to get you in the habit of learning how the text tool works and how you can source different fonts here. Let's do, how about, what should we do? How about, what should we do? I'm a bit of a font nerd here. Let's just stick with Arial. All right. So it's a little big. Let's make it a bit smaller so it fits in. We can go down here to, maybe we'll make it 63. Oh, it fits in a bit better. We're going to center it. Let's go up to the layer style, and go down to outer glow, okay? Again, here we are. We have different ideas of what we can do. We have normal. We have all these different things we can play with. But right now, it's best just to start with the normal, okay? And we're going to find a color that we like. How about, let's make it a little, like a deep kind of orangey yellow, okay? Maybe a bit more yellow. Okay, now you can see we have a nice little outer glow going on there. Okay, you can change the opacity. See, it's not opaque at all, so it's not showing. And let's close that. We're going to make the noise more, which makes it kind of speckly. You can see that a bit. Bringing the opacity down. I'm quite happy with that. I might just go in and change my color, make the color of my text a little bit darker. And how do I do that? Well, there's a couple ways. But if I go right down here, you're going to see the color. What about if I double click on it and make it kind of like a dark gray? Clicking back to our move tool, and now we have a nice outer glow. So let's go back into our text tool, write Hillary again. And you're going to notice it's hard to see. Why is it hard to see? Well, it's hard to see because it's actually almost black. And I'm going to do that because I kind of actually want it to be black. So you can't see it at all, but you know that it's there because you look here. And if you wanted, you could change the name of these layers, but I'm just going to leave them like this. We have it highlighted by triple clicking, and we are going to go to layer style, outer glow. Let's do that again. How about if we make it a nice green color? Make kind of like a cool science fiction thing going on. See, look what's going on there. It's quite nice here. I can make the opacity less if you want to make it very soft. I can make the spread more. Then it gets sort of hard. There's the size, bumps it up, right? So these are all things you can do. So you're going to keep doing that. Let's go back here to text. Let's make it a different font. Since we're doing inner glow, that means there's going to be something going on inside these letters. So we want to get a pretty fat font. We want a big, thick font that's going to show what's going on inside. How about impact? Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're going to highlight that. Let's make it another color. Let's make it click on this. How about a dark green? How do we get dark green? Can we get a dark green here like that? Maybe, yeah. Maybe about like that. Yeah. Okay. So we've got it selected. We're going to go to layer style again, inner glow. Selecting. Now you can see just barely a little bit of an inner glow. Let's see if we change the color here to white. What about if we change it to actually like a bright yellow, very light? You can see a really nice inner glow thing is going on here. You can change the opacity. See how that changes? Look at that. See, bringing the opacity, the noise, if you want to make it really speckly, which is kind of cool, right? And you're going to hit OK. Let's see here. Let's just move. I'm going to move along here. Let's go to gradient overlay and see how that works. Okay. Again, this probably seems quite redundant, but each one of these is kind of cool to play with and have some fun with here. I'm going to change the font. We want something quite thick because it's going to be gradient overlay. Let's go back to, how about phosphate? That's a fun one. Layer style, gradient overlay. So what can we do here? What about if we click on our gradient and we create a new one? How do you create a new gradient? Well, I'm going to choose one of these from the top, like this black and white one. And then I'm going to change the colors, right? Because black and white's kind of boring for me. So see this? This is called a gradient stop. If I double click on this, I can choose the color that I want to start with. So let's do like this. Okay, do you see how it's changing nicely? And I can add another stop like that by double clicking. Click again. Maybe we'll add another color. How about like that? And then if I move these around, you can see that it changes the gradient, right? And then maybe I want to put like a blue one on the top again. Double clicking. Let's go up to the blue. There we go. So you can see that I've made a nice gradient overlay. Now, if I want to save that gradient, because I really like those colors, and I like how that's working, I can just hit, I think, let's see, load. If I load it, it's going to, why is it wanting to access my calendar? We don't want to do that. That's weird. Oh, Photoshop, don't do that. You can load it normally. If you click load, you'll save that gradient and it'll go back in there, but we're fine and we just don't want to do that right now. So there is an example of how we do it. Now you're also going to notice when you go back into your folder for the day, you can click on this one too. There are 2 pages here and I want you to carry on and I want you to write your favorite one here with your name. Okay, so that's our layer styles project. And once you guys figure out layer styles, it's lots of fun and we're going to use it for our next assignment, which is going to be designing a movie poster of your choice. So thank you. Have a good one.